All right, very good afternoon to all parents. Thank you all so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Ms. Chua, and next to me is Ms. Yvin Chu. The two of us are teachers in the Talent Development Committee here at Anglican High School. We also have with us this afternoon two of our AHSMB scholars from Secondary 3, Jamie Pei as well as Janine Lee. So the four of us are very glad to have this opportunity to share more with everyone what the talent development program here at AHS is about, right? So to get things started, I'd like to just share a quick 3-minute introductory video that should provide a good overview on what the talent development program is about. So let's take a look.
Hi Janelle! Congratulations on your impressive PSLE results last year.
Thank you, Julie and Yogan. Speaking of which, my teachers recommended me to join the AHS and the scholarship program this year. What's it about?
Well, you have asked the right people, because both of us happen to be AHS and B scholars. For me, I decided to apply for the scholarship as an opportunity to develop my leadership and critical thinking skills. Under the guidance of our teachers, we get to carry out activities that aim to create value for others. For example, a group of art scholars decided to raise awareness about self-esteem. Wait a minute. Here I am with my fellow scholar Kelly, sharing with our classmates and schoolmates about how we can better protect our mental health. We even designed and distributed bookmarks with inspirational quotes as a form of encouragement for our peers.
My batch of Secondary 3 scholars was involved in promoting rooftop and corridor gardening in the community. We developed a planting kit which we trialed among our schoolmates and even improved on with the help of NParks. We eventually conducted a workshop for the residents in the Fengshan community. Being able to share our ideas with the public made us very proud of what we had worked hard for.
So you guys actually made a difference both inside and outside of school.
Yes! In addition, students in our school may also be identified as subject talents if they demonstrate strength and interest for a particular subject.
Hey Jared, could you come here for a second? Sure. Could you share with Janelle more about your experience as a science subject talent?
Sure. Subject talents have the opportunity to expand our learning in a particular discipline. As a science talent, I got to talk to a scientist from Duke and US Medical School, as well as participate in many competitions and science-related workshops on a termly basis. I remember one time, I went to the school's food lab to determine the best way to tenderize meat. I can't wait for next year. I heard my seniors got to dissect a rat.
Oh, that's so cool. What would you say has been the key learning point for you?
Well, through embarking on projects and planning events, I was able to hone my collaboration and communication skills, especially since I had to communicate with adults and peers beyond my classmates and CCA mates. I even learned how to deal with failure when things don't go as planned.
In addition, doing something meaningful for the community is always satisfying.
Yeah, and as for me, being a science talent has enabled me to appreciate the applications of science in the real world and even work towards a possible future career for science.
I see. Thank you guys so much for sharing.
You're welcome! Can't wait to see you in the new batch of scholars!
Or even subject talents.
Very much. I hope that gives you a good sense of what the program is like. The video was actually prepared by some of our scholars. So overall, the talent development framework in AHS is actually summarized in what you see on the screen. Right? The vision of our talent development program is to develop a diverse mix of talents who create value for others. And we do this by celebrating and growing talents through differentiated learning experiences. So if you take a look at the graphic over there, you will see that at level 1, which involves all students, essentially we have our instructional programs. That means the formal curriculum in school, CCE as well as CCA programs. These form the baseline of what students, how students get to be exposed to different areas, topics, as well as different ideas. At level 2, many students would then be able to access subject-based stretch opportunities. These opportunities include competitions, learning journeys, as well as other enrichment programs. So these would be availed to a large portion of the cohort. At levels 3 and 4, that is where the talent development committee's work really comes in. At level 3, for some of the students who have certain interest and aptitude in certain subjects, they will be invited to join the subject talent programs. I'll share a bit more about it in the next slide. And at level 4, for a selected number of students, they will be invited to join the AHS Management Board Scholarship Program. Again, I'll share on that a little bit more in the next few slides. So for our subject talent program, which really is a level 3 activity, what we aim to do is to deepen students' disciplinary grounding and motivations. We do this by strengthening competencies and expanding horizons. What we want to do here is offer the students an opportunity to go beyond the classroom and to really take their interest in their subjects further. For instance, just now you saw in the video that Jared is a science talent, and Jared himself is interested in learning more about science. So we expand his horizon and we continue to deepen the foundations that he has, okay, through certain experiences such as workshops, competitions, projects, and learning journeys. So different departments will actually focus on different skills and actually carry out this stretching in different ways through multiple means. As for the AHS MB Scholarship Program, this is really our level 4 activity. What we aim to do here is to nurture motivated, mission-minded leaders. This is in line with our school vision and mission of creating value for others. And how we want to do so is by developing skills of critical thinking and learning from others. What we hope to do in the program is really to expose and deepen students' learning in core skills. And we have identified the 3 domains of thinking critically, interacting with others, and future readiness as the key clusters in which we hope to deepen students' skills. So if you take a look at the table on the screen, you will see the definition for each one of these. And what we hope is that we really want to prepare our students for the future, because technical skills can be picked up along the way in the course of the job. However, the transferable skills are what will get them far and what will allow them to, in the first place, be able to access those technical skills much more quickly and in a more flexible way. Specifically, how the program works is that students will be selected at Sec 1, okay, but there are also entry points at Sec 2 and at Sec 3, and they will be provided with the opportunity to undergo broad-based learning through certain platforms, formal and informal platforms, where they can develop some sense of self-awareness, discover their skills and what they're good in, their strengths and areas for growth, learn about soft skills such as communication and collaboration, skills that were mentioned in the video earlier, as well as certain learning experiences laid out for them, such as Learning Day that we have annually for the scholars. And the scholars will be able to apply their broad-based learning. We think that this is very important because they need to be able to apply what they have learned in authentic situations. So a lot of this application is done through keystone projects, which the students do with the guidance of the teacher mentors. What they have done for keystone projects would be things like what was mentioned in the video as well, right? Sharing with the community about rooftop gardening and corridor gardening. So these are some of the projects that the scholars have embarked on and will continue to do so with the aim of creating value for others. Yeah, and so that's the kind of overview of the talent development framework. I hope that's clear. If there are any questions about it, please feel free to let us know in the chat, or you can verbalize it. You can also private message any one of the teachers, either Ms. Chua or myself. Right? So at this point, I actually want to invite our 2 students to share with you their experiences. So first up, we have Janine. Janine will share about the AHS Scholarship Program.
Hi, good morning everyone. I'm Janine. I'm Sec 3 this year and I'm also a scholar under the AHS Scholarship Program. So today I'd like to share with everyone a bit more about my scholarship journey, as well as what made me decide to join this scholarship program. So as a Sec 1 in AHS, there were many new opportunities for me to explore, such as being in a new school with new peers, as well as new subjects to learn. Actually, I was quite shy and quiet when I was in primary school, and I didn't really speak up much. However, I wanted to challenge myself to step out of my comfort zone, to develop my confidence, and also learn to help others so that I can become a useful member of the community. Through this scholarship journey, I had I have had many opportunities to develop my leadership and confidence, as well as other soft skills, which really made my AHS experience much more enriching. I think the most memorable part of my scholarship journey thus far would be the Ready Set Grow project we completed this year, that was also showcased in the video earlier. We started this project with the aim to promote sustainable living through encouraging the growing of our own edible plants at home. Earlier this year, we worked together with NParks to organize a workshop for members of the Fengshan community, where we shared with them about the importance of sustainable living and also helped them to assemble their very own plant kit, which they brought home so that they can grow their own edible plants at home. This project gave me the chance to hone my critical thinking as well as problem solving skills through the many research that we did, and also carrying out experiments to figure out which type of plant kit would be the most feasible and practical to use. I also got the opportunity to put my communication and collaboration skills to use and into practice by presenting our project proposals to NParks and also eventually with the community. I felt this project was particularly meaningful because we got to share what we learned with the community to benefit everyone. Although it was a long process that could be tiring at times, we still put through for a fruitful final outcome. Overall, I think this scholarship program is an interesting and meaningful experience that really exposes us to a wide variety of learning opportunities outside the usual school curriculum. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing, Janine. Yes, indeed, Janine is one of our most outstanding members of the scholarship program, and she certainly blossomed. And I did not know that she was a shy student before all this. Right. Next up, we also want to invite Jamie to share with us her experience. Jamie is also an EHS MB scholar, but today she would share with us about her experience as a subject talent.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jamie, and today I'd like to share about my experience on being a science talent. In the beginning of the year, the teachers approached me and asked if I was keen on becoming a science talent. As I aspired to become a doctor in the future, I was more than happy to accept the offer. In the first term of the year, we participated in a physics workshop. With limited materials, we had to prevent an egg from cracking after dropping it from a 4-story height. It was a new experience for me, as I managed to apply knowledge that I learned in the classroom into a real-world context. The next workshop was a rat dissection workshop, as shown in the video. It was definitely a very fun experience, as it felt like I was a surgeon, and it definitely furthered my interest in venturing into the medical field. Not only was it fun, I also got to learn a few organs and body parts that were out of the syllabus, which helped me enrich my learning. Overall, I think that being a science talent has helped me gain more opportunities to develop my passion for the subject. And I'm really looking forward for the activities planned for us next year. Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie. I'm sure there will be fun activities this year. You can ask Ms. Chua. Okay, thanks everyone for listening so far. We haven't had any questions from the crowd, but please keep them coming if you do have any specific questions or if you have any other questions about school. Perhaps while we are waiting for some questions, I will also ask Janine and Jamie some questions that we often hear from parents and also students themselves, right? So the first one would be, does the program take up a lot of time? Because this program is above and beyond schoolwork, CCA, as well as any other commitments outside of school. So does it take up a lot of time and is it very stressful? Yeah, maybe if either Janine or Jamie, you want to answer?
So the scholarship program is not like a CCA, so you don't have to worry about constantly having to stay back after school. On the occasions of planned workshops or learning opportunities, the teachers would take into account busy periods like the exam season and let us know in advance. From my personal experience, I've stayed back only a few times a year to work on yearly projects together or for other special activities planned for us. As for subject talents, there will usually be a few programs or activities a year for us to participate in, but it really depends on what subject that you are a subject talent in. For example, I as a science talent have activity planned once every term, while for the English talents, they had one major project this year.
In my opinion, being a scholar isn't very stressful, as it can be a fun challenge for us to embark on a new project, to learn new things, and to share it with the school or even the community to benefit everyone. I think as long as we manage our time well, being a scholar wouldn't be a huge burden on top of our studies and CCA, and we mostly work on a project-based schedule. As the projects are often team-based, we don't have to worry too much because everyone can help each other along the way.
Thanks, Janine and Jamie. Indeed, the teachers do run most of the activities with consideration of the students' schedules. So when it comes to peak periods like exam periods, or even during the holidays, we do kind of calibrate the activity and involvement accordingly so that the students would not be overstretched. I see that there are two questions on the selection for the talent development program. Maybe Ms. Chua, would you like to answer
Okay,
the question?
so the two questions are basically the same regarding selection criteria, how do Sec 1s get selected for the program. Applications will open close to the end of term 1 next year for our Sec 1 students, and will close about 2 weeks into term 2. Right, so we are looking for students who demonstrate outstanding academic performance. This is an important criterion because it serves as an important indicator for us as to whether the students will likely be able to commit their time to the requirements of the program on top of their regular CCA as well as managing their academics. We're also looking for students who have demonstrated very outstanding character, so exemplary character, and ideally in primary school have had opportunities to hold certain leadership positions, because we are looking for students who demonstrate an interest in making a difference to their larger community, both inside as well as outside of school, who have a passion for contributing their efforts towards helping to create value, right, for others around them, right, which is the mission for our school. Yeah, so if the students do get shortlisted, they will be invited for an interview with the teachers. So that will also happen at the beginning of term 2.
There's a question on the selection of subject talents. Yeah. Maybe for this, what we can say is that there are subject talent programs for most of the subjects that are taught at Sec 1, right? So we have for math and for science, certainly, for the humanities as well, and also for English language and Chinese language. Yes. So these are the subjects where there are formal subject talent programs. As to how the selection process takes place and how many students are selected per year, this really depends on the individual department's criteria. So the individual departments will have slightly different criteria depending on which subject they're looking at. Right, so for instance, if you're looking at humanities subjects, there will be slightly different criteria because we know that the students are new to the humanities at secondary school. Yeah, so the difference, the kind of leap in learning and the learning curve is accounted for. As for the number of students selected per year, this varies as well because we do also want to look at students' interests. They could be invited to the program, but in fact decide that they do not want to join the program because they would like to focus on other matters, or they will have other commitments that they want to prioritize, and that is really okay. So at the end of the day, we're looking for a good fit, right? People with the interest as well as the aptitude for the various subjects.
Okay, perhaps at this point, I can pose a question to our two scholars. The other question that parents commonly ask would be, how is the scholarship program different from other programs or activities that our school will offer, right? For example, being part of student council, how would that be different? Just now this morning, we had a question about how would what the scholars do be different from the service learning projects that some students will also get to participate in. Yeah, so either you, Janine or Jamie?
Right, for the student council, they are more focused on leadership development through opportunities to serve the school, such as through organizing school-wide events for our peers. Whereas the AHSMB scholarship program will be more focused on broad-based learning to develop a set of soft skills such as critical thinking, effective communication, on top of leadership skills that we can learn to apply in various scenarios. As scholars, we participate in projects to benefit the community and the school, as well as competitions and other activities. For example, some scholars participated in a linguistics Olympiad this year, and I'm sure my friend Jamie also participated in the NTUC hackathon competition, which she can share more about with me.
So for the NTUC hackathon, I and a group of scholars came up with ways for NTUC to reduce their carbon emissions. So what we planned was to get NTUC to reuse their ugly foods and turn them into pre-packed food meals. Yeah.
So just to clarify, this is a proposal, right? Jamie, a project proposal as part of the hackathon competition that the NTUC FairPrice set up. Yeah, so I think essentially what the students get to do under the scholarship program is a bit more broad-based. We try to stretch them in different areas. For example, with the hackathon project, we are not only looking at creating value for others and being leaders, but also looking at helping them to develop their cognitive skills, right? Creative thinking, problem solving. So trying to add value through exercising their cognitive talents in that way. Yeah, so that would kind of be the model that we're looking at with the talent development program. There's a question about whether or not there's a technopreneur talent development program. We don't have that at the moment. My guess is that this is a new area really for all of us in schools right now. I think we are getting our lower sec students to take on computing modules, especially now that they all have their personal learning devices. So this is indeed an area that we are growing, in whether or not there will be a formalized talent development program. I think we can work towards that certainly. But in the absence of that, right now the students have their computing modules. They also have our Keystone iScore program in EHS. So the iScore program is really a combination of various different subjects, right? FCE, DNT, and they also do some computing and they actually think through using design thinking. They develop prototypes and certain ideas, right, to help other people to create value for others. So in that sense, there is that stretching that they do of the students that we do at lower sec. We also have the entrepreneurial club as a CCA. So I think that over there, the students also get to try out the skill sets of being an entrepreneur. They also get to develop the core skills over there.
If I can just add on, actually what Ms. Chu mentioned just now with regard to the lower sec program, that is the program that is available to all our students. Yeah, so all AHS students will go through minimally 50 hours of computational and design thinking in their journey with us. And just as an example, this year for our Sec 1s, all of them had the opportunity to learn microbit and also Python coding, and also exposure. Our Sec 2s had exposure to AI, right? And actually just now what Jamie mentioned, the competition that she's involved in, there was also an element of technology that was part of the judging criteria. So one of the good things about our scholarship program is that students do get to have a say also in terms of the projects that they would like to be involved in. So for our Sec 2 cohort, we allow the students in Sec 2s to form their own groups and to come up with their own projects of interest to themselves, right? So if your child is interested in coming up with a project that is related to technopreneurship, but at the same time, with that focus on making a difference to the people around them, then that would be great. Yeah, I think that would be a very good opportunity.
Are there any final questions from you? We're coming to the end of the time slot, so we just also want to honor the time commitment set aside by everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. And if you could invite you to actually give us your feedback at either the link or the QR code on the screen, we'd be very grateful. Please let us know too if you have any final questions. We can always get back to you after today's event. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope that you have a great weekend ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.